Duty. Never before have I encountered a series that gave me so many mixed emotions. On one hand, I really enjoy a realistic style shooter that I can get immersed in, but on the other, I want balance within the gameplay. The American in me wants to be able to gleefully go after these fictional terrorists, but common sense tells me that I've been staring at the same goddamn gritty environment for the past hour and a half. I want to be able to quietly stalk and take down opposing forces, but then we have...
Fucking game is trash!
Let's just get this shit over with. There's actually a reason why I got a Call of Duty game instead of brushing it off to the side like any other series that I have no interest in. You see, my brother Travis was always pestering me about playing a Call of Duty game with him. He was a second-class petty officer in the United States Navy, and like most other people in the military, he loved the Call of Duty series to death. Unfortunately, my brother is currently undergoing some drama that has caused me to lose contact with him. As a result, I decided to purchase a Call of Duty game for the day when he returns. And what game in the series did I get? Ghosts. You know, that one game of the Call of Duty series that even the fans seem to hate. Yeah, I'm a dumbass, I know. And now we're gonna take a look at this piece of shit today. Before we get started, however, I'm throwing down this rule right off the bat. I'm specifically looking at the single-player campaign of this game, and not the online multiplayer. Reason for this is that there are many variables in online multiplayer in any game that changes the experience for each individual. Such things can include lag, load times, game-altering content, and the skill of other players. That's why there's usually a notice on games nowadays that literally say that experience may change during online play. Call of Duty Ghosts is the 10th primary installment of the series that takes place in an alternate timeline that appears to be unrelated to the rest of the series. From what I gather from this story, it starts with the destruction of the oil industry within the Middle East that leads to the downfall of every world power. Why do I have a feeling that this was somehow caused by the Bush family? Anyway, after that happy little accident, all the South America countries unite together under one banner, forming the Federation. Usually an event like that would take a few centuries because of stubborn governments and overwhelming corruption, but okay, I can dig it. I'm guessing at some point the United States and the Federation formed a peace treaty in an effort to avoid an all-out war where opposing sides attempt to have a dick measuring contest. The Federation turns out to have the bigger schlong because they break the treaty and attempt to take over the Odin satellite, a weapon of mass destruction chilling out in the reaches of space, where it could target millions of people anywhere on the planet. Wait, what? Okay game, you're telling me that this massive fucking weapon was just floating around in space, not being used against the Federation when you had a perfect opportunity, knowing that they are a threat, but still managed to lose Odin to the Federation and risking millions of innocent civilians? You know what? I think I need a minute. What the fuck, game? Anyway, two of the Odin astronauts destroy a vital function of the satellite, dying in the process as Odin falls down to Earth to play a game of cosmic dodgeball with our main characters and destroying San Diego in the process. Cut to 10 years later, our main characters, Logan and Hesh Walker, have joined the fight against the Federation with their father Elias, whom is secretly a member of a elite covert operation known as the Ghosts. It turns out that the Federation has captured a member of the Ghosts named Ajax, and despite our hero's best efforts, is killed. We later learn that Ajax was captured by a man named Rourke, the former leader of the Ghosts that was thought to have died after the assassination of a Federation leader, now brainwashed to hunt down his former comrades. Even after Rourke is captured, the Ghosts think that Rourke's mind can be saved, or even give up information about the Federation instead of just putting a cap in his ass and moving on. And of course, Rourke is then rescued by the Federation forces in a manner that is so stupid and absurd that even the A-Team movie is calling bullshit. Rourke ends up killing Elias, spoiler, and plans are discovered that the Federation have reverse-engineered the Odin satellite and created the Loki satellite to cause some more shenanigans. So our heroes take over the Loki satellite while the Walker brothers take on Rourke in a final showdown on a train. Unable to beat Rourke, Hesh gives orders to the Loki satellite to target the train to ensure Rourke's death. And despite the train getting shat on by a super weapon from space, both Rourke and the Walker brothers survive. Not even that, but Rourke is then shot and the brothers escape the wrecked train before they drown, then watch the Loki fireworks show before Rourke comes back from the fucking dead, knocks out Hesh, then drags Logan away to undergo the same torture he went through. Honestly, who the flying fuck are these characters? Terminators? Holy hell, this story is beyond stupid. Okay, sure, I can give some leeway for Rourke surviving his first brush with death, but after this display, I am just insulted. It's one thing to have stupid characters making dumb decisions, but to have a story that sets up a world with defined rules, in this case death, then completely go against its own concepts is the worst thing it can possibly do. I'm a firm believer that if a game should be taken seriously as an art form, it must have a story that is challenging to open the mind of the player through enthralling gameplay, not insult or belittle them. This isn't the worst story I've seen from a game, but it's certainly up there. It also doesn't help that these characters are bland and forgettable to the point where the only character I remember is Riley. You know, the dog. It really doesn't look good when these characters that are supposed to be badasses are now overshadowed by a fucking dog. Speaking of badasses, there is one thing about the ghosts that's always bothered me. They're portrayed as a group that handle missions covertly with the utmost care, but in many instances they run around firing their weapons into enemies like they had a prosthetic Rambo extension installed at the end of their dicks. Way to be covert, assholes! With the story aside, let's take a look at the gameplay. It's a standard first-person shooter with missions, inept comrades, throwing grenades, and regenerating health. You play as Logan Walker, a person that goes on missions, has inept comrades, gets killed by throwing grenades, and often needs to cry in a corner and regenerate health. The AI is definitely not stellar here from either side. More often than not, your comrades will stay behind and miss targets all day long, while enemies will stay behind their chest-high walls until you come around the corner and slap them in the face. It also doesn't help that the uniforms from each side look alike, so it's not uncommon to get confused about where you need to shoot. But if there's one thing that pushes all my rage buttons, it's the goddamn grenades. When a grenade is thrown near you, an icon appears on your screen to attempt to warn you about it. I say attempt because it's kinda hard to see in the middle of a firefight, and the fact that you have an icon that is showing you a 2D location for an object in a 3D environment is like looking at a fucking wall as a reference for something that was thrown on the floor. The only time I found myself enjoying the gameplay is when something different happens to shake things up. You can control Riley in certain sections for stealth-based assassinations while getting a look around the enemy territory like a border collie with bloodlust, but there are only a few of these sections made available. Then you have sections like those with the tanks where you can go nuts with explosions or take control of the Loki satellite, which is kinda like using a magnifier to burn ants that is just as enjoyable as it sounds. But aside from that, the characters are forgettable, the music is forgettable, the story is a sort of stupid that can only really appeal to fans of Michael Bay, the graphics are gritty and unappealing, and the sections that are good are few and far between. As a result, I cannot recommend this game to anyone except for the die-hard Call of Duty players. Even then, many of the fans don't even seem to like it, so that should really give you your answer right there. Anyway, this has been Regnilla, wishing you to have fun, and to stay the hell away from this game. Take care, guys.